Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Roster Talk, and today I'm joined by in-game leader, and can we say second AWPer as well, ScrunK? We know you do a little bit of secondary AWPing.
Yeah, sometimes yes, but my team doesn't like it that much. I have
Yeah.
other people who want to help as well. So yeah.
All right, well maybe let's get into that, because the way that I look at Sangal is, I remember last year, that was the team that Amor was on, and it was completely Turkish. But then hang on a second, I look at it now, and it's completely changed. We look back at January, and you came into the lineup, Kory came too, kyuubii and TuGuX. So just tell me, like, were you involved on creating this newer edition of adding all these pieces, or how did it even come about?
So I wasn't really involved. The only player I was really involved in was Kory, but it was basically my time in Kovana had gotten to an end, and actually Marix, who's playing in Sprout now, was actually planned for the Sangal lineup, but then Sprout snatched him up. So, but actually I contacted him because I knew he's gonna join Sangal, and I knew they're gonna need an in-game leader. And then he recommended me to TuGuX, and kyuubii also wanted to play with me, since they're the same. So from there it kind of got fast that we decided on playing together. And yeah, actually the lineup was planned with Marix, but then yeah, Sprout took him away for us. No hard feelings. I mean, he's a sick player, so I could understand. And then
Mm.
we were like looking for a fifth, and I was like, I didn't want to pick up any German-speaking guy because we already had Sensei, TuGuX, kyuubii, and me, who are German speaking, and we have Soulfly who doesn't speak German. So I was like, for the team dynamic, it's really important for me that we pick up a guy who doesn't speak German, so we don't fall into the habit of like 4 German players plus a
Mm.
German coach, um, and one Turkish guy. So then I was like, I remembered Kory from his Budapest 5 days, and I played in FPLC with him some games, and I knew he was really talented. He had like really good aim, and yeah, so I contacted him. He was available, and then played some games together and decided pretty quickly that he's gonna be our fifth.
Hmm. Okay, because when you look at this lineup on paper, I mean, you sort of went down the line. There's a couple of Germans here already, but we didn't want it to all be one speaking language. You talk about international teams. A lot of these players don't exactly have experience on international teams. I look at someone like S3NSEY, and okay, he played a little bit with some EU teams, but mainly, at least recently, when it came on Sangal. Kory, he's always been a part of the Hungarian scene. I think kyuubii as well has mainly played in the German scene, and not really gone outside of that. So, as an in-game leader, has it been difficult to mesh all these players together because they haven't had a lot of experience on EU teams?
I mean, it's been a process for sure, especially with Soulfly, because his English at the start was really bad, actually. It was basically for me, I had to say something and TuGuX had to translate it to Turkish. So it was
Right.
really rough at the start, but it's actually super impressive how much progress he made. So like now I can have like 2 hours conversation with him in English, no problem. So he learned it super fast, which is actually really impressive. And but other than that, it's like uh, the kyuubii, I think, yeah, actually everybody knew really good English, so it wasn't that hard. For me, I mean, it was the biggest transition, just to from calling in German to call in English again. I've done it in the past, but it's like it's everything is a bit slower, so you kind of have to get used to it. And especially when we played our first ESEA games with like the German guys, because we had to use them for the slot, and we were full German. I noticed it's so much easier in German. So the transition has been really hard, but I think right now, after like 4 months, it's for me it's actually easier to talk English. And actually, the funny thing is, when sometimes when like Kory and Soulfly are not in TeamSpeak and we're only German, we just talk English because we're so used to it. I remember like in Bucharest when we were outside eating, me, kyuubii, and TuGuX. We're like 3 Germans, and we suddenly just talked English for like 20 minutes, and we didn't even realize it was full crazy. So I think right now, like, it's not a problem at all. Everybody's gotten used to it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's good though, because I think that's the attitude you have to have. Is that even if you've got a slight core that speak the same language, always speaking English in and around one another, just helps build the team overall. And I want to touch a little bit on Soulfly, because from an outside perspective, we actually don't know a lot about him. He's 17, hasn't had many sort of teams before joining Sangal. Now he's playing in a European team with international players. What's he like as a teammate?
Um, he's he's a bit crazy, but in a positive way. He gives a lot of good energy to the team. He has he's like the I just say this example of a Turkish player, Turkish aim, no brain, basically. But like he's insane aim, and I had to teach him like still in progress, teaching him the side of like understanding the game, understanding every part about of it, because that's what you need to do. Like every tier one player, they understand the game, and that's why they're so good, because it's like these tiny decisions made on intuition that make the difference. So yeah, he's been really hardworking. Everybody in the team actually is really hardworking, which is nice to have. And yeah, I'm so happy to have him in the team because like he gives only positive energy and he brings so much on the server as well. He's like a really great teammate.
Hmm. Okay, well, maybe if we go over to another member that was a part of the previous iterations of Sangal and was even there when the Turkish players were, was S3NSEY. And I guess when I look at this player, and when maybe you look at him even statistically, normally in the current meta, all the AWPers are like the top fraggers of the team, getting as much impact in there as possible. He doesn't seem to be that kind of player. So I kind of ask you here, ScrunK, how are you using him differently to maybe, let's say, like how other teams are using their AWPers?
Uh, I don't think that I'm using it that much differently. It's just like a thing of getting him to get to this level. Actually, still, it's still a work in process for him. Like before in the other iteration of Sangal, it was a completely different style for him, and he wasn't really playing the meta AWP that much. I mean, he had some light outs performance, but it was like up and down, really inconsistent. And so right now I'm trying to get him to be like a sh1ro, for example. And it's just like a process. This guy is like he looks like 32, but he's really young actually. So it's like a process to get him there. I'm not like we want him to be a star AWP as well, like to have these statistics. It's obviously gonna help us. But yeah, it's been a process. We're still working on it to finding the right balance. But he's improving day by day, and I think we'll get there.
Mm, okay, well, trying to get the balance. I mean, we could probably talk about experience. I mean, for kory, 23 years old, he's been in and around the tier 2 scene for God knows how many years now. Always sort of been the name that you think of when you think about the Hungarians, Salamander, BP5, whatever it may be. Everyone always thinks of kory. Now, does a little bit of secondary AWPing for the team. We know that he's a very consistent rifler. So, what's it been like playing with him? I think you mentioned just before that you kind of played a few games together on FPLC before joining the team?
Yeah, so yeah, we played a few games actually. I played some Facets with him back then when he was in Salamander as well. It's been really good. The like he has when he joined the team, he had to like learn a new role, which was because he has to take a more passive role kind of because like we have like Soulfly who's really aggressive, kyuubii sometimes wants to be aggressive, and you can't have like I need to be as an Ingame leader, be in the pack, be aggressive as well, you know. You can't have like 4 aggressive rifles, it just doesn't work. So it was a lot of adapting actually with him, learning like teaching him this role, learning him what I want for him, but also like learning how I can use him because he has this skill set of being like an explosive rifler who can like turn around on his head if you put him into the right spot. So it's been a process, and I think now after 4 months I have a pretty good grip about like how to go about him and like how to use him as a player. So for example, let's just say we have a round where there's a round where I know I can trust my team to do the right stuff even though I'm not in the puck. Like I'm not with them going in front. I'll just say, okay, I'll take the boring part. I'll just watch the flank or something like this, do something boring. kory, you just go with Soulfly and you take map control, you know? So I'll try to balance this out, but in some other situations where I need to be taking map control, he's gonna be in a more passive role. And yeah, it's been in progress, but he's like also really hardworking. He's always after practice. He's with me in TeamSpeak. We watch demos together. We play some pucks together. We do so much stuff. So it's been really easy with him because if somebody's so hardworking, it's always gonna be easy to get to where you want faster. And yeah, I'm super happy to have him on the team. And I think he's like the best pickup we could have made in this situation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it feels as if there's a good mix between some older guys, some more experience, and some youngsters. One of the guys that we've talked about on briefly is obviously kyuubii. Now, I remember got announced for Sprout to be that sixth man. I thought, oh, this is very exciting. They're going to throw him in a lot of officials, and it just didn't really happen. He played, I think, a few MasterShaft games for them, but especially when it came to HLTV, we didn't get to see him play a single game under Sprout. And then after that, I think he went over to NLG for a portion of time, and now he's joined up with you guys. And tell me about him because, again, another youngster.
Yeah, so yeah, kyuubii is obviously a big talent that we have here in the German scene. I'd say right after Crimbo, who obviously now made his breakthrough. He was like one of the up and coming names over the last years. So yeah, he's like actually he's really calm for a young player, which is nice. He's like because I can be quite emotional. Soulfly can be emotional. Sensei is a super hype guy, and he's actually the calmest person in our team, which is like when you look at his age, it's kind of crazy. Um, so with him also it has been a lot process of like finding him the right role, like because back then he played in energy, he didn't really know what his role was, like they played more of a puggy style, not so much practice and stuff. So I uh tried of kind of put him like into a Rob's position, like really methodical. And for a young guy, obviously this is not mostly not the most exciting role, but he's took up the challenge, he's really working hard for it. And the thing with him is he has still school, so we are not really full time because like he has school until like 15 or 16, and we play at the evening. So he has it really hard. Honestly, I cannot imagine going 8 hours to school, then you come home, eat, shower maybe, and then insta go to prac for 6 hours. So it's really hard on him, but he's really like surpassing all my expectations when it comes to work ethic and also what he delivers on the server. He's like improving really fast, and I think we haven't seen all that he can deliver, but it's like we have seen some glimpses, and I think keep working. He's gonna be a star player. Maybe not on the Rob's level yet, but in the tier 2, tier 3 scene, somebody you'll have to look at for sure.
Well, the vibe that I'm definitely getting is working hard seems to be a common trait throughout all of these players. The coach as well of TuGuX, I think back a few years ago, and I remember him being an ex-pro. I remember him playing on Space Soldiers when he was playing with the Turkish guys on XDP as well. He's had a little bit of coaching experience on Big Academy, but now coming into a coaching role on this team, he's sort of got that balance between the Turkish side and the German side, but he's not someone that you've worked with before, right?
No, no, I haven't ever worked with him actually, and he didn't know that much about me as well. So yeah, he's been saying he's like super impressed with me, which is nice to hear. But actually, he's like a super good coach to have because we have like a really good balance. He always keeps us hardworking, and you can say like it's kind of like a good cop, bad cop dynamic because I cannot be like the guy to always like maybe yell at the others if needed to, because they need to work with me as an in-game leader, and I think it's good if a coach takes up this role and just says, guys, focus now. This is important. Like sometimes in practice you're not that focused and stuff, and he's that guy who makes everybody be super focused and work hard, because we have limited time with QB, so of course we need to use it as efficient as possible, and he makes us really work efficient and makes everybody be there, be focused, and I'm super glad to have him on the team as well on the tactical sides. Of course, he can help me with his experience, and he adds some stuff here and there, and we have a good balance, I think, and it's really like I'm really happy about it that because in my past I had like some coaches, and I never felt like I had this dynamic with a coach where he's like really giving me exactly what I want for him, especially like taking this role over of being like a dad, I'd say, saying, okay, guys, shut the fuck up, focus now, do your stuff, and deliver. And he does it, and it's perfect because you need to have this in the team. And if it always comes from the Ingram leader, then some frustrations will be built up towards me, obviously. But he's a coach; he can take it, and that's yeah, he does that job really perfectly. And I think he's also a part why, like, a huge part why we achieved so much in a short amount of time because he makes us work efficient.
Well, we've kind of gone through all the pieces of how the lineup all gels together and what all the players bring. One decision, or at least aspect we haven't gone down just yet, ScrunK, is some of the goals of this team. Is it to attend the next majors RMR? Is it a certain HLTV ranking? Is it to get some more LAN events under the belt? What are some of the goals for the next 6 months of the team?
So I mean, of course, the next major RMR is gonna be 100% the goal. I mean, after the Soulfly fiasco last
Yeah.
RMR, we wanna play with him for sure. I think we showed some glimpses here and there, and I actually think we should have like won against G2 even with a coach. We threw that game really hard, and I think if you like have that in you, uh, you you really want to be able to show it with your full lineup actually, and also like some people now gotten some experience, which is also really important. So that for sure is a goal. I mean, we wanna get to towards the like the top 30, of course, but it's a process, so like it takes a lot of time and it's really hard nowadays. So right now, I think with ESL Challenger, we got kind of unlucky with our group just being like instantly after the armor. Like for me, it was basically I got home and 5 hours after I had to play movie stuff. So not that nice actually. So right now we don't have that much officials and we need to wait for ESL Challenger to end to play the relegation. So I think it's gonna be in June or something like this. So we'll use all the time we have to practice, and we practice really efficient. So I think we'll make even more process, and then our goal is, I think, getting closer towards the top 30 and climbing up the ranks, but as well just every day to get better. Like I have a really crazy work ethic, I'd say. So now I have a lot of time to work, and we're gonna use this time for sure. So I think it's just taking step by step, getting better and better. But overall, the goal is of course the next major, the next AMA, and top 30. But if there's any event we can take in between there, we'd love to take it because like everybody got an extra motivation boost just from the last event. How nice it has been to be around your teammates and stuff. So yeah, we want to do everything in order to get to more events and play more on lands.
Perfect. Oh, well, thank you very much, ScrunK, for coming on, and best of luck to try and achieve some of those goals in the near few months.